What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fandom United Live. This is the place where we hang out and end the weekend on a high note. My name is Gio, and I do these streams obviously every Sunday at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. And today we have a big show. We're going to talk about the MCU going forward. I'm waiting on my buddy here, Keith, who is fashionably late as always, but hopefully he'll be joining me soon. I thought this would be a good time to bring up something that I've been seeing online in regards to the box office for Black Widow. If you haven't heard, it had a very, very steep drop. It was like 69% drop from weekend to weekend. And I see theater owners blaming Marvel and blaming the Disney Plus Premier Access structure that they're doing, where they put movies on the same day in theaters as they do on their streaming service. Of course, you have to pay $30 additional to see it. Excuse me. But look, movie theaters, they got to realize, okay, they were losing our interest even before the pandemic, okay? Like, that's why they had to reinvent themselves over and over again by adding things like a bar and recliner seats and even seats that heat up too. You know, it's just, I don't know, like with home entertainment and technology, it's now become a thing where, you know, audiences, you know, they like to stay home, you know, and then you have other things too, like theater etiquette. Like people, they treat the movie theater like they're at home, you know, and it bothers me. But to blame it just on Disney Plus Premier Access, I mean, that's so biased. So we're in a time now where the pandemic obviously is still affecting the way that movies are seen. And until we get more data, more information, we got to take it as it goes. Okay. Like obviously factor different things into it, but it's not just because of one thing. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, for this show, if you haven't seen Loki, then I appreciate you being here, but we are going to talk spoilers. Some big stuff happened in the MCU. It's definitely going to shake up Phase 4, everything as we know it. It's going to be a crazy ride to each movie in this phase. And there are some obvious movies that will be affected by Loki, but then there are some that you may not expect. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be a spoiler. So if you haven't seen Loki, you probably want to back out now because we're going to get into some heavy stuff. And the first thing we are going to get into is the official timeline. The MCU official timeline has been revealed via Disney Plus. The official MCU timeline you will see at the bottom of your screen, and it shows us where Black Widow and Loki fits in. Obviously, Black Widow, we knew it was going to take place after Civil War because we knew, spoiler, Black Widow died in Avengers Endgame. But the thing I wanted to point out, and you'll see it as the ticker continues, is Loki takes place before WandaVision and before the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I find that very, very interesting. Okay, so by the time we get into WandaVision, Loki has already happened. And what does that tell us? Well, if you remember, we're going to spoil WandaVision. Okay, but here we go. If you remember the end of WandaVision, there was pretty much a brief scene that explained what WandaVision was up to now that her fake town, was destroyed. She got rid of it. And she was going into the dark book. I can't remember the exact name of it, but she pretty much was trying to find a way to bring her kids back. And now that we know Loki already happened and the multiverse was already exploding, now I look back at that scene and I'm like, wow, she was hearing voices of her kids from different universes. And to me, that's crazy. Now that we have context, now that we know where these movies take place, and hey, I got some people here in the chat. We got my brother here. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Johnny.
And of course, we have Miss Rachel. Hello. Rachel! Appreciate you guys being here, stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm waiting on my other guy to show up. He said he would. But nevertheless, I'm going to keep this going. This will be a shorter one today. So we know the official MCU timeline. Loki takes place before WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldiers. Now you have context if you go and rewatch those shows. I think Loki definitely affects WandaVision. I don't see how it would affect Falcon and Winter Soldier based on what we've seen. But nevertheless, it's interesting. Now I think we know why Doctor Strange did not show up in WandaVision. And that's because the multiverse started and he was probably getting to work. If you remember, one of the rumors was that for Spider-Man No Way Home is that the moment the multiverse opened, villains from different Spider-Man movies started showing up in the MCU. And based on the rumors, Doctor Strange was busy during the time of WandaVision locking up Doc Ock, Green Goblin. Who else was rumored? Rhino was rumored. Sandman was rumored. And so we'll see exactly who, because I don't believe all those characters will make it. I believe most of them will. But as far as specifically who, that is another thing. And Star Drew, you are never late. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We were just talking about the official MCU timeline that was released on Disney Plus. By the way, I noticed that list on Disney Plus was missing Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. So I had to do deeper research to find out where those movies precisely fit in. If you see asterisks near Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, that's because they're not a part of that Disney Plus MCU official timeline. And that makes sense. They don't have the rights to the movies. Sony does. We know that. But general audiences will probably be like, what's going on? Why isn't Spider-Man in Disney Plus? It's because Sony owns those rights. So my screen's fuzzy. That's not good. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Let me know if my screen is still fuzzy. I just exited out of my own broadcast and came back. So if it's still fuzzy, please let me know. I don't know what more I can do. I have a new Mac. I have an Ethernet cord. I think I need to switch internet providers. I should have done that a long time ago since I'm the one paying for it. Okay, so it looks like I am good. Sorry, I was just waiting on confirmation. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So yeah, now that we know the official MCU timeline, let's take a look at the upcoming slate now that we've seen Loki. Let's take a look at the slate and see how we look at it now that we know how Loki ends. Obviously, we got Shang-Chi, we got the Eternals, which I'm keeping my eye on it on Eternals. I think as far as live action movies go, I think that's the first one that will feel the ramifications of Loki. And before I get into that, let me bring in my guy. He has arrived. He is here, Mr. Keith Barnes. Keith, what's
Hey,
up, man?
what's happening? What's going on? I'm here.
You're here.
I made it.
Welcome. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
being here. Right now, I'm just talking about Loki finale and how we look at the MCU slate differently than we did before we knew what happened in the finale. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, is the upcoming MCU film slate and the streaming slate. So I wanted to ask you real quickly. It was revealed that Loki takes place before WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Does it change anything as far as how you view WandaVision story-wise? I know it's kind of on the spot, but now that Loki takes place before WandaVision, I was explaining to the audience that we know now why Doctor Strange never showed up at the end, like all those rumors, because as soon as the multiverse opened up, he probably had his hands full.
Well, he
So
was supposed to, though, right? Didn't they say he was supposed to, though?
yeah, one of the screenwriters said an early draft he was featured, and then obviously there was a number of rumors
Yeah.
regarding his appearance. But yeah, what do you think, man? Like Loki takes place and then WandaVision happens right after. I don't think it affects the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as much.
Nah, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem
Yeah.
like it. Unless like only other person we saw in that was Rhodey. So unless there's a character that is a character we're familiar with but looks different, you know what I mean? Hello, by the way, Star Drew, Rachel, Johnny, what's up? Hey, everybody. Good evening. But yeah, no, so yeah, I don't think it affects that. But as far as we know. But WandaVision is I heard there was something with the finale. They changed something in the finale of WandaVision. Like there's some kind of a an image or an outline of someone that people think maybe is Doctor Strange, maybe or something.
Yeah, I actually showed that a couple Fandom United lives ago where it turned out to be just an editing mistake. People thought it was Doctor Strange's astral plane.
Okay.
But it was just an editing mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, that they never fixed.
Yeah, I hadn't gone back to look at that yet, so okay, that's funny.
Considering how we know WandaVision was hearing voices from her children,
right?
We were like, where is that coming from? Well, now that we know what happened in Loki, the multiverse opened up, so maybe she's hearing her kids from another universe.
Yeah. Yeah. Or she sent them somewhere. Who knows? I mean, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she knows. She's trying to figure it out. So yeah, you're probably right. I mean, clearly they're obviously somewhere else, and so maybe she thought that she was like deleting them, but they actually wound up just going to another place in the multiverse. Could be the case with Vision as well. I kind of doubt it, but
well, we know Vision is alive, just in the white Vision,
the other one,
the one that flew away.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Also, I said I doubt that we'll see the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, see, that's as emotional as the WandaVision ending was when she had to say goodbye. It's like, well, part of it is your kids aren't real.
Right. No, that was kind of odd, right? I know.
Your kids aren't real, And even though you're saying goodbye to Vision, did you forget that the real Vision, the one whose memories were restored, the one who was brought back to life, that's your real Vision.
Right.
So he's still out there, and I'm waiting to see that reunion.
And that was, if I'm not, I haven't gone back to watch a second time, but they were making that Vision out of the original one, right?
Her Vision.
Yeah. So
not only is it her Vision's body,
now he's got all the
mind.
Yeah. So he at least he knows everything. Like he may still be a little bit different in terms of, but anyway, no. As far as I've actually been watching Loki all day today. I've watched the first 4 episodes here.
Oh, you rewatched it?
Yeah. I'm trying to rewatch it again. Yeah, before Tuesday. Excuse me. Sorry. Dude. But I forgot your original question. What was your original question?
Well, it's just like, how do you look at WandaVision and maybe Loki differently now that you know where they take place?
That's it. I don't. So if it's set before, you said Loki's set before.
Loki is the first. I know WandaVision came out first, but Loki, technically, as far as the timeline goes, it's Loki, then it's WandaVision, then it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And like I said, I don't think it affects Falcon and Winter Soldier in any way.
And it makes sense because it was happening right in the middle of Endgame. So even in that sense, like everything that splintered off from Loki when he got captured by TVA, that's before they even fought Thanos again and that whole thing. So that makes sense. Before that all got resolved. So if that's the case, I wonder if Wanda knows that something's different.
Well,
do you think there's any possibility she might know?
So
she senses it or something.
They call Wanda a Nexus being,
right?
As in, she has the ability to. She's so powerful. She has the ability to alter, obviously, realities, and like do some stuff with the multiverse. Yeah. So it makes sense that Doctor Strange needs her help because Doctor Strange can only do so much. Wanda is the most powerful being. Don't forget, like she single-handedly almost wiped out Thanos.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think Wanda definitely is going to find herself in a bit of a conflict because she wants to help Strange, but she also has her own agenda too. You know.
Well, not only that, but I don't know if you mentioned this yet, but I just read a Collider, and I think Hollywood Reporter. Now Loki's going to appear reportedly is going to be in Multiverse of Madness as well.
Loki will be in Multiverse of Madness, which is crazy. So
I don't know. Could be a little battle between the three of them. Yeah, or maybe Doctor Strange, or maybe Strange needs Loki's help to stop her from whatever it is she's doing. Because you know that it seems like she doesn't mean any harm, but she is kind of led by her wanting to protect her loved ones, and so that, you know what I mean. So it could be a situation where she's trying to find her kids, and she might be doing something that may be damaging to parts of the multiverse or whatever reality she's in or they're in or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
man.
Strange needs Loki to stop her, or Loki comes to warn Strange about her or something, or what's going on, or I don't know. I can't wait to see. I really can't.
I'm thinking. I mean, this goes without saying. He's going to be an ally this time because he's had a change of heart.
Yeah.
Not only does he want to figure out what the heck's going on, but I'm sure he wants to reunite with Sylvie.
Yeah.
And maybe Doctor Strange can help out with that. I'm sure because it'll be interesting because the last time Doctor Strange saw Loki, he was he was like trying to get him off Earth because he's one of those beings who Doctor Strange sees as a threat. As a threat to the reality. And
Loki was threatening him.
And I wonder if that's what Doctor Strange was talking about. Because we know he can see 14 million, different
Possibilities, futures.
possibilities.
Yeah.
I wonder if
He
like
probably saw
while
all
he's
this.
in the sanctum, he was like, "What is Loki doing here?"
Hmm.
So it's just it goes deeper than just what we see on the surface. Here's Rachel. I think chaos is the key to defeating Kang, the opposite of total control he was going for.
That's yeah,
That is a good point.
yeah.
That makes me wonder, will Agatha be in Multiverse of Madness too?
Mm.
She's not. I don't know. Like, I don't know what role she would play. I mean, it's quickly turning into a team up film.
I think they're probably all, for the most part, going to be that from now on.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any more. It'll be just like how comic books are, or have been at certain points where, yeah, a lot of different characters showing up to help out at different points, and so.
Yeah. So, looking at the upcoming MCU slate, obviously, What If is going to dive deep into this multiverse, right? I mean, we're going to see T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
We're going to see Captain Carter.
Captain Carter, which is really cool. We got an evil Doctor Strange.
An evil Doctor Strange.
Which is terrifying.
So it's it's a smart way to do it, because I don't know how you do that in live action. That's a lot of projects, but animated is so much more easier.
Exactly.
So that'll be our first taste of this multiverse of madness, essentially. What If, which is next month. As far as streaming goes, I don't see Moon Knight or Hawkeye. Maybe Secret Invasion.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Secret Invasion. Obviously they've announced a bunch of other stuff, but just Secret Wars has to be coming up as well.
Oh yeah, I think that's the next Avengers movie.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And to think,
a variation of it's still gonna be different from comics, obviously, but.
And to think, like, we were wondering, like, how much bigger can Marvel go?
I know. And we still haven't. Everyone's been clamoring for like Galactus. We still haven't gotten that. Him.
We haven't gotten Galactus. We haven't gotten Doctor Doom. Dormammu's still out there.
Right. So it's there's a lot more. Yeah, a lot more they can do. So just this phase that they're going through now, that they're starting now, it's wow. It's still so like that's. Could have told me, how old am I? 25 years ago when I was in high school, that this we'd be getting all this stuff out of no way. Like it's crazy. It's crazy everything they're doing right now. So it's really cool.
And I think there's a conversation that we'll get into later about how big does Marvel want to go to where they don't lose the general audience, We'll get to that. But as far as...
It's going to happen eventually, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. As far as upcoming live action goes, I don't see it affecting Shang-Chi. Now, the Eternals, I look at that differently now that Loki, the finale, has happened. You know why? There's a line in the Eternals that says, "We've been in hiding until now."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like the criticisms at first were, why weren't you there when Thanos, right? That's like a big thing. But like, I think what made them come out of hiding was this multiverse.
Definitely.
I'm sure there's different versions of Eternals too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first things I thought. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is when you see that timeline just splintering off and just going crazy, and it's just like that's the first thing I thought was, oh, so this is why all this other weird stuff's going to open up, the Eternals, and we don't even know what where on the timeline that is. Seems like it's the normal one, because they're talking about Steve Rogers and Iron Man. But who knows? But it's one of those things where, okay, this is why wherever they are, or have been. Like they're waking up. Like, okay, we got to step in and do something somewhere. I don't know who
Well,
they're gonna. I don't
the
know.
trailer for Eternals showed that they arrived during the early age of human civilization,
Yeah.
and they played a role throughout the history of
Right.
advancing. Right, we saw walls and buildings and big structures being built
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And I think one of them was harnessing water or like plants or something like life.
Okay.
So and then of course they probably had a hand in technology and whatnot. But yeah, now I look at that Eternals trailer. If you guys haven't seen the Eternals trailer since the Loki finale,
Yeah, I gotta
go
watch
it.
Right.
Go watch it, because now you look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we know about Spider-Man No Way Home, right? I mean, I love that everybody all of a sudden is talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm happy about it, because while on the other channel I can't exactly talk we can't talk Spider-Man No Way Home, because sensitive ears and don't want to know anything. It's pretty much a guarantee now. Like, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
We just haven't heard from Marvel about it.
They're
And
gonna.
why would they, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
They have 2 movies coming up. They don't want to take the attention away from Shang-Chi and the Eternals, right? But like, so you're pretty much sold, right, on the variants showing up in No Way Home. Like, you're sold, right? Or
it seems like it.
You just need to see some confirmation.
I just want to see, but yeah, I can't see it going any differently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know why or what. We don't know the story yet, so I don't know why or what's happening to Spider-Man, to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, that all this is gonna open up in different realities and whatever. I don't know how or why, but that's what I'm waiting to see, obviously. And of course, Doctor Strange obviously is going to be in there, and I wonder if he'll be the guy to show up and say, "Hey, kid, whatever. Like, this is what's going on. Come with me, or whatever." I don't know, but I can't see any. I can't see. Yeah, it's got to be right. It's got to be. If we're already, like, we know for sure, and like you said, they're just waiting to. I think they're just going to wait for the trailer to actually reveal Maguire, if he's in it, which he is, and Andrew Garfield, if he's in it, which he is. So yeah, like you said, and they got the other 2 movies to promote, like you said. So they're going to hold off, but the trailer should be this week, right? Is that what I heard?
So
I heard Comic-Con. I heard they were going to release it at Comic-Con.
There is a rumor that this upcoming week we're going to get the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Take it with a grain of salt, okay? Remember what I said about June 10th? Okay, that damn photo that was going around the web had us all fooled. So we'll see. But you know what? Starger is bringing up some incredible points here. First off, what if this is like a way we see Iron Fist in that tournament?
Sure.
Because remember, like, up until now, the MCU, Kevin Feige, they've been distant about the Netflix universe. Even though Netflix, those shows have been heavily referencing, well, not heavily referencing, but like often referencing the MCU, right? They talk about the incident,
right?
And at the
big green guy,
at the what's the name of the newspaper place where Karen Page works at?
It's not the
editor, but in the editor's office, you see like newspaper clippings of the Avengers.
Yeah.
and the incident pretty much. So like this could be Kevin Feige's way of bringing in Iron Fist to the Shang-Chi tournament. Maybe now we see Charlie Cox as Daredevil in the MCU.
Come on, let's go. Like No, I agree. I totally agree. Like everybody's been wanting that, even if they don't do any of the other characters. Charlie Cox has got to be in MCU. It's got to be.
But then again, I don't know, because
why not?
Well, no, not that. I'm thinking back to like them as variants ending up in the main MCU timeline. Like,
okay,
wouldn't it be easier just to like say they've always been there too?
Yeah, I suppose so. See, that's the thing. They could just do anything now.
Because one of the rumors I heard about Spider-Man No Way Home was that Peter Parker is going to need legal representation.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to defend himself from killing.
So did he? Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal. What's his name?
Yeah. Mysterio.
Quentin. Mysterio.
Quentin Beck.
Quentin. That's what I'm trying to Quentin. Yeah. Quentin Beck. Which is bizarre, but yeah. So that would either say Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, or She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters.
Walters.
Yeah. So one of those two, I think, would be. Murdock has spent more time working for free, so it seemed like it might be him. If that was the case. So yeah, that would make sense. But I don't know. You can say the same thing with the X-Men. We still don't, and I think it'll still be a while before we get mutants. But clearly this is going to be the way into introducing mutants.
Oh, I think some variants are going to show up, make an appearance. We'll get to that. We will get to that. So other than Spider-Man No Way Home, we know Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to, and I think, like I said, we'll get to this conversation, but I think that's where a chunk of the variants are going to show up in that movie.
Doctor Strange.
For me, it just makes sense because that movie, while Spider-Man No Way Home will obviously have variants coming into the MCU timeline, Multiverse of Madness could be where they go to different universes.
Yeah, I agree. Is that, and also, is Ant-Man next year? Or it's 23, isn't it?
Quantumania is 23.
That's a ways away. Okay, so then you're probably right then. Well, maybe both, but.
And think about it. Like, we're going to see Kang in Quantumania. So his presence is going to be throughout all the films before it, From
here on, till then.
Yeah, so you got Multiverse of Madness, then Thor Love and Thunder, then Black Panther Wakanda Forever, then Marvels, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Right.
So it's going to be a bumpy ride. And it'd be obviously like we've been saying, the multiverse is going to be, you will feel its impact in more movies than others, like but regardless, man, now I'm looking at like Thor Love and Thunder. That movie involves the Guardians, and while we still don't exactly know what it's about, we know Gore the God Butcher is the villain. That's about Christian
it. Bale?
Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now that we've talked about some of the MCU movies and how differently we look at them now that the Loki finale is out. What about Marvel characters pre-MCU that could reprise their roles? Call it a glorified cameo.
Yeah.
So let's real quick. Let's talk about some characters, both characters that you want to see and characters who you think. This is where Kevin Feige puts on his salesman hat and takes meetings with. I'm sure he has a list of actors who, during his time as a producer, before he became the head of Marvel Studios, I'm sure there are a couple actors who he would love, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to pull in whatever actor or character you want. So, do you have any that you want to talk about?
Well, I was thinking, obviously, Star Drew, you just hit it on the head. I just went straight to Hugh Jackman, obviously. That's the obvious one. And, you know, he posted the photo of him and Feige together somewhere. We don't know where or when that was, but or do we? I don't know. But
no, but
it looked pretty recent. But the timing, that's all that matters. Yeah, exactly. The timing.
The timing of that photo.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all that matters. You know, and that was right. That was. I mean, it was during.
That
Loki.
was
before the last
not this
episode.
past week, but the week before.
The previous. Okay, yeah, the fifth episode, I think. So, obviously, that's the obvious one. So, we'll leave that off. But
yeah,
there you go. That's the next guy I was going to see. Star Drew is right. He's right there with me. I was going to say Deadpool. That's coming.
Deadpool is so interesting because we just saw him with Korg.
They're already setting that up. So
yeah,
and he's got that device. I don't know if they're going to work that device in. The little wristwatch that Cable had, where he's bouncing in and out of time. So maybe it's something where the TVA will be after Deadpool. You know,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the obvious ones. We know Marvel's working on an R-rated Deadpool.
Right.
Hugh Jackman and his social media post. J.K. Simmons might have been an early indication, right?
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. I'm looking at the official timeline here. Spider-Man Far From Home happens right after Endgame, just before Loki. Or is Loki happening? I don't know, right around Spider-Man Far From Home. It's just...
Well, it's tough to say because as I'm watching it today, they mentioned time works differently at the TVA. So it could be, I got the sense that it's kind of way into the future. But then, like you said, the report said I literally saw it a few minutes ago, right before I came on, that it's set before WandaVision. And I went, well, okay, maybe not. But when I was watching it, I felt like you couldn't really get a sense of when it was taking place. But and obviously that's the 2012 Chitauri invasion Loki himself. So, but yeah, so it's tough to say with Spider-Man. Yeah, because it's set before or right after Endgame rather. But clearly, it could be maybe at the same time ish as Loki. I don't know. I mean, they had a scroll. They had a scroll in there at the TVA in the first episode.
Yeah.
So, but the scrolls are around, so who knows?
So
I don't know.
The obvious ones: Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, J.K. Simmons, whether he was in the universe already or not. You know, I And then you have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx. Those have already been reported by the major trades.
Willem Dafoe, maybe?
William, so that's on the list here. William Dafoe,
Yeah.
it's Green Goblin. Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman.
Yeah.
Rhys Ifans' Lizard from Amazing
Dr.
Spider-Man, the first one.
Connors, yeah.
Heavily rumored Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Emma Stone, which I don't know how that would work because she died.
I kind of doubt we'll see her. Yeah.
And Charlie Cox. Which, by the way, I've also heard that the No Way Home, the first teaser, will not feature Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
It makes sense from a marketing standpoint, but as a fan, I'm like, we all know they're in the movie. Show it.
Well, it'll be like, you remember when Civil War was coming out, right? Like they showed the Civil War trailer. Spider-Man was in the second trailer. They didn't
second
reveal
one,
it
yeah.
first. So yeah, and they were still kind of they weren't ready to announce that deal yet. So as soon as they announced that deal, then that trailer came out and they showed Spider-Man in it. So it could be one of those situations where I don't know, maybe they're still. Well, no, it would be shot already, so they would have shot whatever they're doing. I guess they could maybe still shoot something.
Yeah, I'm sure they were probably ironing out the details, because right now they're still trying to work on a new deal.
Right.
Tom Holland
with Spider-Man.
is contracted for No Way Home and then one MCU appearance.
Right.
And then that's it, unless they come up with another deal. So, some other candidates. Again, we're talking pre-MCU Marvel characters. Starju mentioned Wesley Snipes' Blade, which is interesting because there was a report a couple years ago that Wesley Snipes was talking with Kevin Feige about the Blade property, and at the time, I remember thinking like, that would be cool to have Wesley Snipes as kind of a Whistler role, where it's like a Batman Beyond, where he's, training the new Blade. And I didn't realize Mahershala Ali is only 10 years younger than Wesley Snipes. So it's not that young, But you take into consideration that Wesley Snipes had a meeting with Kevin Feige a couple years ago, possibly to play a variant, because Kevin Feige, what do we know? He thinks in the future. So he's like, Wesley, probably not right now, but we definitely want to see your Blade back. Remember, they've already set up in Loki, one of the episodes, it was vampires, right? They said vampires?
Said Titans, vampires, and whatever else, but yeah.
So vampires are already name dropped.
Right.
And then you have the Morbius trailer, which a vampire, and then Spider-Man in the back. We don't know where that takes place. Like, is that in the MCU? Is that in the Spider-Verse that Sony's trying to set up? And then, so I talked about a majority of the variants I'm expecting to see in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, I think it'll be a glorified cameo fest. Who's the director of Multiverse of Madness?
Sam Raimi.
And there have been talks that Multiverse of Madness is going to be the first horror movie, the scariest MCU movie to date.
Yeah.
I think vampires fall under the category of scary, right? So imagine Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch going to like a universe where they don't know where they are, and then they, I don't know, are ambushed by vampires, and who comes out and helps them? Wesley Snipes' Blade. How fucking cool would that be?
The Daywalker.
The Daywalker, and maybe.
Well, not that. We saw there's zombies. They got Marvel zombies in What If.
And What If? So there's a universe where zombies exist, and I'm going to say it again.
A scary universe with monsters.
Hey, Kevin Feige, if you ever want to do a one-off, that's your guy right there. Zack Snyder.
That would be awesome.
If they did an R-rated, I mean, because we know they're going to do an R-rated Deadpool. What if they do like?
I wish.
A zombies, like he would be perfect.
I bet you they've talked. Surely they've talked. I'm sure. We can say that for another time. But
I'm just hyping. Yeah, I'm just hyping myself up. See, I get carried away.
There's no question. Feige has called Zack Snyder. It's like, hey man, they've kept the relationship. I'm sure. Just in case,
what message would that send to Warner Bros?
Absolutely. Anyway, but yeah.
So. I expect to see Wesley Snipes as Blade, as a variant, an older Blade. He won't. Yeah. He's not going to be in multiple movies because we know Mahershala Ali's Blade is coming.
Yeah.
But in the case of an opportunity presenting itself via Multiverse of Madness, Sam Raimi, scariest movie in the MCU, the name drop of vampires, I think that is a safe bet, in my opinion.
I think so.
Who else could Kevin Feige? Because we're talking pre-MCU. How about anybody from the Fantastic Four?
I was about to say,
wasn't Kevin Feige a producer?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm checking that right now.
Yeah. I was going to say Michael Chiklis. Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm. Because everyone loved him, as Ben Grimm. Thing. It'd be cool to see him. I don't know what the others.
You want to know who I think would be a lock more than Michael Chiklis?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans as Human Torch.
Yeah.
Chris Evans already has a great relationship with Marvel, with Kevin Feige, and he almost appeared in Deadpool 2 in a cameo role.
Really? I didn't know that.
Remember when him and who's the comedian guy? Oh man, the one who is Deadpool's friend. He has hair.
TJ Miller, yeah.
TJ Miller. When they were recruiting for X-Force,
yeah,
there was an idea to have Human Torch. Chris Evans make a cameo.
Okay.
So the idea is already there. Chris Evans has a great relationship with Kevin Feige and Marvel.
He'd show up for probably take him a couple days, day or two. Yeah, I'm sure he'd do that.
Hey, he showed up for Thor: The Dark World, did he not?
Right. That was a day shoot.
That was a day.
Not even a day.
Hey, come back for a day, put on the suit real quick.
Yeah.
And just you
say something funny.
You don't think Chris Evans wouldn't have fun doing that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he'd get all in it. Do that little buzz cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. We got some comments here. Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, never say never.
Sure, maybe.
That was the first movie, in my opinion, is not bad. That's just my opinion. But Alba, I feel like she'd be like, you want me to get back in that skin tight suit? I'm gonna need some money. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just, I'm just saying, like, that's not an easy thing to do. Okay.
So. No, she's running her company, honest company. She's got a big business, so I don't know. She might not be acting.
Rachel, I'm torn at the thought of Chris Evans' Torch coming. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, I get it. I thought he was good.
Huh?
I thought I liked him. I always liked him as Human Torch. I mean, the material was terrible in movies.
Yeah, he was always I think they would write his character a little bit differently.
I don't know. Chris Evans. you go back to all his movies pre Captain America, he plays even post Captain America. Look at Knives Out, he plays a really good jerk. So I think
That is true. Yes, he does.
In a lot of movies. So I think he, if anything, he might kick it up a couple notches because he was a super powerful character and he was very arrogant. So I don't know. Wouldn't mind that. Star Trek has Halle Berry. What do you think about that? Storm. That goes with. I don't. Other than Wolverine, I don't know that we'll see any X-Men.
Yeah, because I was thinking
they're saving that for. I think the next.
I think Hugh Jackman would be the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a part of me was like, "Oh, go ahead."
Well, I was gonna say if we do, that'll be it. Like he's not gonna be Wolverine going forward. Like it's gonna be new X-Men. Whatever they do with X-Men, it's gonna be all new. I think. I get the feeling.
Yeah, I think if anything, we'll see Hugh Jackman probably he'll be wearing a leather jacket just so he won't have to work out, and probably smoking a cigar or something, and
like in First Class, that kind of cameo.
Yeah, Wanda Maximoff and Strange walk into a bar. Excuse me, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. So, who else do I have on here? Now, I thought about Hulk. I was like, is there a way Edward Norton? I'm like, no, that bridge has burned. What do you think?
Well, it's been about 10 years ago. I think maybe I'm sure he's grown from. I don't know. I think that's possible. I think it's possible.
I thought Eric Bana as a Bruce Banner would be more likely.
Yeah, maybe.
Only because of the fallout between. But if you're right, then. Although I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Yeah. It's something that if they were thinking of this at the time, which they weren't, obviously. Or maybe they were, they just weren't. They could have explained it back then,
Yeah.
Say why Rhodey and Banner are two different people. Oh, they came from another universe. I don't know.
What about Terrence Howard?
That's what I mean. That I doubt. I doubt. I was looking back on that. I watched a video about Iron Man at the time. And, well, that's a tough situation. I totally get where he's coming from. I don't know. Obviously, there were different people in charge that are not with Marvel anymore at the time. So I don't know if that would have turned out any differently. But I don't know. That was a unique situation, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see him. We'll never know how that would have worked out. I don't know. So,
okay, now these next ones are pretty far fetched. You know who was recently praising Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, really?
You know who Ben Affleck played before he was Batman? Daredevil.
Jon Favreau's in that. Favreau's in that movie too.
Kevin Feige putting his salesman hat on and saying, hey, I don't know what's going on with you in DC, but how would you like a fun role to appear as the devil of Hell's Kitchen? A fun cameo or glorified cameo. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Well, if he's, I don't know why, but clearly, this would be one of those things where they're going to say that everything we saw before was all part of this multiverse of madness.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, yes. I don't know why we would go to his universe or he would come to anyone else's, but Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't know, man. Hey, I'm just trying to make the case. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but like,
No, for sure. Well, that's the thing. I don't want this to, as much fun as it is. Obviously, we're having fun talking, speculating stuff. As long as they're not, and I don't think, and they don't really work like this. So I don't think this will happen. But just as long as the story's good and it makes sense, you know what I mean. Like, I don't want them to just be doing it just to, hey, here's like they do on the TV on the TV crossovers on CW, where like there's no real reason to, hey, just, other than just to show for fans to go, hey, which is not there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but you know, but just for fans to be like, oh, hey, there's, you know, I don't know, the Birds of Prey from that old Birds of Prey TV show. Right? You know, they're not there to really do anything, which, you know, but so if this whatever they're doing, this I don't want all Phase 4. It's Phase 4. I don't want this to be all just silly cameos and everything like this, you know. But they're good with story. Like I know story comes first with them. So
yeah,
I mean I trust them, but.
I think you're right though about the days of solo movies, unless it's strictly introducing like Shang-Chi, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think those days are gone because you've made your universe so big that by the time we see a certain character, it'll be 4 years later because you have, you know, they can't put, well, they could put like 5 or 6 movies a year, but again, we talk about, you know, overwhelming the general audience. Okay.
Right.
So,
well, all these
that's a
characters
different conversation.
They all know each other too now. After everything that's happened in the last couple of years, all these characters, you know, everyone, like they've all met Captain Marvel. Thor has hung out with the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. So they've all met Ant-Man. Also, there's no reason for them all to not come to, you know, help each other, or they call somebody, or hey, I need your help with this, or somebody shows up to help this person or whatever. So Punisher.
Did you watch Dirty Laundry?
No. Still haven't watched it. I made myself a note to watch it too, like 2 weeks ago when I had a day off, and I still didn't watch it. I'm sorry, Star Drew, I want to watch it. Just cue it up on YouTube right now. I'll watch it as soon as we're done. But no, but yeah, Frank Castle. I wonder which one we'll see. I'm sure we got to see one of them. I don't know.
It'll probably be John Bernthal's Punisher.
Yeah, most likely. Or Ray Stevenson, Punisher, his own.
Ray Stevenson, yeah, that's another one.
So cool. Because he's part. I mean, that what's his name? In Thor, who does he play? He's gone.
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh my gosh. Start to say.
You guys know who we're
talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yes. You guys know. Yes.
Volstagg.
Volstagg.
Volstagg?
Yes. Yep. Very good. God. Yeah. That'll be a question that on our next trivia. We'll be going crazy trying to remember. Volstagg.
Didn't he die in Ragnarok?
Yeah. What's her name killed him?
Hela.
Right. Killed all of them, all 3 of them. So
yeah. No wonder why Jamie Alexander didn't want to return. It's like, when
right.
You treated my character bad enough as is. Now you want me to show up for 2 days just to get killed off?
Get killed, but yeah, right.
Yeah. Man. Anyways, let's move on to the last thing that I want to talk about. And this one's pretty interesting. Almost cast actors playing MCU variants. And I was surprised when doing some research on this. Okay, so I'm just gonna name off because we're getting close on time. I'll name off some actors who almost played roles, and then you just tell me whether you think we'll see it or not. Okay.
Right.
So, do you know who almost played Tony Stark before Robert Downey Jr. was cast?
Yeah, I know they really wanted Cruise.
Tom Cruise,
Apparently,
Leo DiCaprio was in
apparently
consideration.
Tom Cruise wanted the mask to be see-through. Like he wanted to be able to see
He
his
wanted
face.
Tom Cruise, he wanted to show off his face.
God.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
But Tom Cruise, Leo DiCaprio, and Timothy Olyphant were almost Tony Stark.
that's
Now,
interesting.
Timothy Olyphant is already in the Disney house with Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
Right?
That's very interesting.
That's a maybe. But how cool would it be to see? I mean, Kevin Feige would gain a whole new level of respect if Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch entered a multiverse where Tom Cruise was Iron Man. How about seeing that on screen?
That's insane. I don't even. That'd be really weird. It'd be very strange. But no pun.
Strange pun.
Speaking of him, how about? I just thought of one. I don't know if you have it on your list, but how about Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange?
So Joaquin Phoenix, Ewan McGregor, who's also in the Disney house.
Oh, was he on that list? I didn't know that.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, really?
And Colin Farrell were all considered for Doctor Strange.
I didn't know that. Okay.
How about seeing Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange?
I was very
Benedict
excited.
Cumberbatch runs into a Doctor Strange and he's like, and they have a conversation like Vision had with Vision.
Oh my gosh. So weird. I wonder how Joaquin Phoenix would play that character. Interesting.
Hey, again, Kevin Feige putting on his salesman hat saying, hey, how would you like this opportunity to see what it would have been like, to play this character,
Right.
Hey, you beat me to it, Rachel.
Oh, good call there. That's right. He screen tested and everything.
He screen tested. He was, how crazy would that be, man?
Tom Hiddleston. I think that's a strong possibility.
What if that's in Thor: Love and Thunder?
If he's Thor for some reason.
He goes, brother, and Tom Hiddleston goes,
me?
As Thor going, me?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Thor. I'm the god of thunder. Here's Mjolnir.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. I think that's something we actually might see.
Now,
that's funny.
That would be.
Yes.
Oh man! Which, by the way, he's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Right. I saw that.
He's coming back. Yeah.
So,
he had fun. A couple more. So, Rachel talked about Tom Hiddleston as Thor. Liam Hemsworth was also considered.
Yeah.
And Tyler Mane. Tyler Mane was Sabretooth in the original X-Men.
Yep.
So, if we were to see a variant of Thor, I kind of like the Loki because it would be a nod to all of us film buffs who, were like, man, did you know that Tom Hiddleston was almost Thor? And general audiences being, who's Tom Hiddleston? Oh, Loki. Okay. Emily Blunt was almost Black Widow.
Yeah.
But if they're seriously considering her for Sue Storm,
Sue Storm,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But if she shows up in Multiverse of Madness as Black Widow, then you can pretty much close the door on Emily Blunt as and she really wanted to play Black Widow, but she was contractually obligated to Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black, which is a movie I saw in theaters, and I was so bored. I remember being so bored watching that.
I was excited about that. I love Gulliver's Travels, but
I
know, same. I was disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Now, Captain America, this is a big one right here because
Well, speaking of Emily Blunt, you have
John Krasinski,
Yeah.
Scott Eastwood,
Oh,
Garrett Hudlin from Tron,
right. Yeah. Okay.
and Ryan Felipe, who you might remember from
Really?
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
He was the tough guy,
As Captain America.
the asshole.
He's a decent actor. He's a bad actor. He's pretty good. So that's interesting. I wonder how that
I've
would.
only ever seen him in that role, so
He was on this TV show on this miniseries on ABC. He was pretty good. Okay.
again, if we see Krasinski show up as Captain America, you can close the door on him as Mr. Fantastic.
Right.
But I mean, Scott Eastwood or Garrett Hudlin showing up as a variant Steve Rogers.
Is there a universe where John Walker is Captain America, or has been?
Oh, you mean Wyatt Russell?
Russell. Because I was thinking.
I wonder how Jake would feel. This guy right here.
There you go. Yeah.
That is my second most prized possession. My bad. Oh man, the possibilities are endless. Kevin Feige, he's probably having so much fun deciding like, wow. Like obviously he has to make the pitch and close the deal, but he's just probably thinking like, who would I want to see come back?
Well, we talked about it. The three of us actually talked about it on Partly Marks. But let's go to Wakanda for a second. How do we think this is going to affect that? What do you think is going to happen there?
Look, I've been saying if there's a way to bring back Eric Killmonger, this would be the way.
Yeah.
We're going to get introduced to the idea in What If of him being a good guy.
Yeah.
The king of Wakanda in What If.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying make him the king of Wakanda if he were to come back, but imagine an Eric Killmonger who in his universe Wakanda is destroyed. He doesn't have a home. He comes to the main MCU timeline and he sees a Wakanda that's alive and well. Obviously, the king is gone, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle that.
Yeah.
But if I'm Eric Killmonger and in my universe, Wakanda's destroyed, this one's alive, he finds out that the Eric Killmonger of this universe was evil. Don't you think they would pull like a Man in the Iron Mask kind of thing where like the good one comes forward and the evil one is like whatever?
It would take some convincing on his part.
Yeah.
For everyone else or whoever finds him, if however that would work. Like, no, this one's different. He's here he can help us or he can lead us or whatever. I don't know.
If Angela Bassett was his mother in his universe and he sees Angela Bassett, remember his Wakanda's destroyed and let's say everyone died, right? But he goes to this universe, he sees Wakanda, he sees Angela Bassett. He's like, oh my God. He's like, well, in this universe, I was your auntie, but aunties are even motherly figures too. So it's just like, I don't know. I would be okay with that. I would be, again, don't make him king of this universe. Don't disrespect T'Challa like that, especially what happened to Chadwick Boseman. But he could be like a major player. He could be like M'Baku, where he's like, somebody who could show up in the movies, Wakanda wants to show their support in this conflict. They've sent me, and I'm here to fight with you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that sounds really good. Honestly, that's a good setup there.
Really?
So I think that absolutely. Yeah, I think that even if it's not like because I think I heard was there reports that Donald Glover was going to be in the sequel as well. I heard that. I don't
Hold on, give me a second. But
Okay.
finish your thought.
Yeah, I think I think that's something they're trying to figure out. Like you can't just a guy like Michael B. Jordan. I know he's doing Creed 3 and he's directing that, so he's got a lot going on. But you can't bring in an actor like him, character like that for just one appearance. Like you gotta. So if there's a chance to bring in an alternate version of him, that's a good one. Obviously, with the real life circumstances being what they are, obviously that wasn't totally expected. And it sounds like Feige and company didn't know that Chadwick was sick. So I don't know.
So Donald Glover gave notes on the draft.
Okay.
And from what I'm reading, there's a moment in Black Panther where they're going through the first challenge, right? And Zuri, played by Forrest Whitaker, says, "Who wants to challenge the throne?" And the sister jokingly raises her hand, and she goes, "Just kidding." And then she says, "Can you hurry up so we can all get back?" That was Donald Glover right there. That was what he wrote.
Okay.
So you are correct that he was involved in some capacity. And again, he's already in the Disney house with Lando.
Right. Well, and he's Miles. Well, he's in Spider-Man as Aaron Davis. We don't know who's Miles Morales' uncle. So that's the only hint of that we've got. So I don't know. We'll see.
It will be interesting to see, but we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for joining Keith and I. This is Fandom United Live, and as a reminder, it happens every Sunday evening at 7:30 Pacific time. Join the conversation like Rachel and Stardrew here, our stars, our VIPs, and share your thoughts. While you're at it, give a thumbs up, and a subscription would mean the most. Keith, thank you so much. Any plugs you want to do before we get out of here?
Yes, thank you once again for having me. As always, my man, Gio. You can follow me on Twitter at KeithBarnes79. I don't really post a lot, but you can still follow me there. I might post something randomly now and then or retweet some kind of basketball thing or whatever. I don't know. But then you can see me on Tuesdays on Apocalypse. Movies.
We're going to continue this conversation. I won't get to talk about certain things, so we're going to have
a lot of the stuff.
We have to tiptoe around.
We'll see. We'll see. It's one of those, because listen, anything's possible. So I don't see why not. We'll see. Let's come in. I think we're going to be recapping the first season
of Loki, the entire season of Loki.
Yeah.
So I have until then to rewatch it, and you've already. You're 4 episodes in. Yeah.
So it goes pretty quickly, man. You watch it all pretty quickly like that. It's really, really good. So, yes, at the end, Stardrew. So catch Jacob Bartley and I on Bartley and Barnes. I think we're going to look at, I'm not sure. We're going to try to get it in at the end of the month. Hopefully not as late as August 7th, but hopefully no later than that weekend, end of July, beginning of August. So we'll see. We'll let you know. Try to let you know this week. So, but yeah. Obviously, you can join me over there at Bartley and Barnes as well, and of course, every Sunday night here with my man Gio.
Yes, sir. A couple of plugs on my end. I have some reviews up on the channel. First being my Black Widow. If you still haven't seen it, that's okay. It's my non-spoiler review, and also the Tomorrow War. The Chris Pratt sci-fi action sequel. The sequel was announced, but the movie is actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So definitely check those out. I am trying to figure out if I want to put my Space Jam: A New Legacy review up because it was pretty negative, and I'm like, I mean, it's a kids movie, like, what are you doing, Gio? But yeah, I mean, you'll obviously know if I upload it or not. I'll do that probably tomorrow if I decide to do it. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you, as always, Stardrew. Thank you, as
Yes.
always. You guys are terrific. You're wonderful. And
Absolutely.
I will see you guys. We'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, take care.